Hi, it's April 2019. It's springtime, and as you can see, Mount Diablo has turned green, as have all of the hillsides. We've had a lot of rain here in California this year, so the grass is growing, and the weeds too, and it's spring break week. So while everyone else is off enjoying the sun and the sand in Cancun or South Beach, Florida, or they're off skiing and Telluride, what are we doing here at Northside? We're doing what we always do this week. We're doing spring cleaning. So let's take a look at what we're up to. I spent the day yesterday cleaning out the parts room, and as you can see, this is the trash pile. This is everything that came out of the parts room, things that are spent, things that are used up, things that we don't need anymore. Lots and lots of boxes of stuff. We've got a bunch of old Master Station faceplates. We've got old speaker grills, more Master Station faceplates. These were parts units that have been scrapped out, and even their chassis have been taken down to just the circuit boards to conserve space. More faceplates, mostly Intercom stuff, an old doorbell cover from the 50s, a speaker frame, some transformers. You would be surprised how many used transformers we accumulate over the course of a year. These are the scrapped out chassis that came out of a lot of the faceplates. What we do with these take up a lot of room, as do the faceplates, and the faceplates are all scratched and gouged and nobody wants them. And I disassembled 8 Master Stations, took all the circuit boards off the chassis pieces. So now instead of taking up 3 spots on the shelves, the circuit board assemblies can go into a single tub, and they take up less than half the space of one box. And there's some other miscellaneous stuff, an old clock that doesn't work anymore, some old rough ends, just a pile of stuff. And it's kind of hard to believe that all of that came out of the parts room. And the parts room is about 60% done with being reorganized. We do this every single year. We go through everything that we have, we reorganize, put things in tubs, reshuffle around where they are on the shelves. It's a really good thing to do. We don't have unlimited space, so we have to conserve the space that we have and use it to the best of our ability. We don't want to be like those places that Mike and Frank go to where they walk in and go, wow, this guy's got tonnage. The other reason that we decided to do this week is because in here we've got 3 giant boxes. And what's in the 3 giant boxes? Well, it's 150 pounds of NuTone. This is actually a mail call video, so let me get set up and let's get these opened up and see what we got. Okay, so this is box number 1. 50 pounds worth of NuTone. All of this stuff came from a NuTone, he's either a dealer or a distributor, I'm not really clear on that, who is retiring, as many guys seem to be doing nowadays. And he sent me a list, like everybody does, and said, I've got all this stuff, let me know what you think. Maybe you want to buy it all. And I went over the list, and there were some valuable and desirable things to have in there, and I told him, yeah, maybe we can make a deal. And he was a reasonable guy, more so than a lot of people. One of the things that happens is guys that have stuff for a long time, they get kind of attached to it. And sometimes they think it's got more value than it actually does. And you got to be kind of polite about it with people because you don't want to insult them. Although this guy was very reasonable, and he actually said that, he said in one of the emails, don't be afraid to insult me. If you think it's only worth a certain amount, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. So he was a reasonable guy. So let's get to it and see what's in box number 1. Okay, so the first thing out of the first box, we've got this is all mostly new old stock stuff. I think there's a few used things in here, but mostly it's all new old stock stuff. So we've got an ISA 338 white, 8-inch inside speaker, goes with 3303 systems. And we've got some desktop speaker bases, IS60 whites. and a box of, even though it's stapled together the wrong way, it's a box of IR50s. I know what those sound like. We'll put those over there with the IA60 whites. IA60 whites, not the most valuable thing in the world, but every once in a while it comes in handy. See, it's a slanted desk base, and you put a speaker on it and wire it up, and you can sit it on your desk or on your night table and move it around if you need to. It's kind of an old-fashioned idea. You've got an inner box and got a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff all together. Got a CP95 cassette player. There's a bunch of these, I was told, and these are new old stock, as most things are. These were specifically, I'm not going to take it out of the plastic, these were specifically designed to match the 3303 and 4406s for people who wanted to have a cassette player along with their AM/FM radio or with their CD player. Not the kind of thing that most people would be adding onto a system nowadays, but if you've got one and it's broken, especially if you have the earlier version, which is the CP90, which is a black unit from the 3003 days, you might want a replacement. I was told that he had a 3303 master station. He didn't know the condition of it. He said he didn't remember. He didn't think it was brand new. But it looks to me it's in nice shape. It's not discolored. It has been installed because it's got the telltale paint on it here where someone painted around it at some point. It's a late model one because it's got the green circuit boards instead of the tan circuit boards, and it's got the pink serial number stickers instead of the white ones. This is a late model one. Don't know if it works or not. He didn't know either. But the price on it was good, so it doesn't matter that much. We've got to keep things organized here because there's so much. We're going to run out of room. That was one of the reasons why the decision was made that we do our big cleanup this week. Even though we normally do it, it would be a week or so from now. We normally do it at the same time every year, getting ready for the summer. But this year we decided that we would do it a little earlier because we need a place to put all this stuff. Let me lift this up. He did a good job on packing, I have to say. I gave him some guidelines as to how I would do it. I told him what you need to do is get some 24 by 24 boxes. That way, well, as few a number of boxes as possible. And he said afterwards, he said, I see why you recommended that. So here we've got a IS79 patio speaker. Looks like it's in good shape. I'm going to do a video about these large 8-inch patio speakers pretty soon. It's a legacy product for NuTone. They don't make them anymore, but it's something they made for a really long time. Here we've got some IR81 rough ends. IR81s is like this. This is an inside wall remote control rough end. Not a lot of value in those. Nobody's adding in wall rough ends nowadays anymore. However, here is something that does have value. That one's been opened, but that one has not. This is an ISB 53W. These are outdoor stations for IMA 516 systems. They're also compatible with the earlier 470s and IM 516s. So we've got one of those. You know it's an outdoor station because it has a W on it. W doesn't mean white, it means weatherized for outdoor use. So we've got one of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we've got an ISB 53, 2 of those. These are inside stations in ivory. And then we've got a bunch of ISB 53 WH. WH means white, and these are inside stations in white. And these are hard to come by nowadays. By the time you get close to when these were discontinued, guys weren't really keeping many of them in stock much anymore. So when they were discontinued, there's not like there's a ton of them floating around in the world. We've got another IS-79 patio station. Put that back there. And we've got an IS-408, which is an 8-inch inside speaker for 4006. This is a late one because it's got screw terminals for stranded wire instead of ribbon cable connectors. Again, not a ton of value in this unless somebody's looking for a replacement for one that's damaged or something like that. However, the switchboard is new, so that's a good service part. Speaker cone's good, so it has usefulness. And it's certainly better, even if it gets parted out, it's got more value for its parts than it does for its whole. So let me get this first big box off the floor and we'll move on to box number 2. Alright, on to box number 2. So we can use the first box as a platform for all the other boxes. That's good. Yeah, when the FedEx guy came yesterday, it's our usual FedEx guy, he said, "What did you get? What did you buy?" I actually have to work carrying these up now because they were so heavy. Alright, so what we got? We've got a couple more cassette players, CP95s. That one's been retaped and the boxes are a little crusty. So this one's been opened and it's missing, either it's been installed or it's got a problem. And here's another one. This one looks sealed. Well, I guess it was until that second. Yeah, this is a new old stock one, so that's good. These will find their way online for someone to buy, because around here where we are, they're not very sought after. People are not looking for cassette players much. A nice thing that goes along with them here are these. These are the IR90s, I think they are, or IR91s. Let me open this up and show you. These are the rough ends for the cassette player. So if somebody wanted to install a new one on their system, because you know, I read in the paper, or I read online, or I heard it online, or I heard it somewhere, cassette players are making a comeback. It seems that the millennial crowd think cassette players are kind of cool. So this is the rough end for a CP95. So it's nice that we have the rough ends to go with the cassette players. Yeah, so millennials think that cassette players are cool. I guess that's because they didn't live with them in the 70s and the 80s before CDs. You know, personally I find that cassette players, while cassettes are important because they're built into sets and we fix them, they're not all what they're cracked up to be, in my opinion. All that fast forwarding and rewinding is kind of annoying. It's much easier to just pick which track you want to listen to. Anyway, so this is an interesting thing. I kind of like this. I've been looking for something like this for a long time. This is an IR92. This is the rough end kit for a CD92. A CD92 was the late 80s and early 90s in-wall CD player that NuTone made that was an accessory with the 3003 and 4006 Intercom systems. And let me go get something and I'll be right back. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, NuTone made an in-wall CD player. And the in-wall CD player, this is the rough end for it, it was an all-wood cabinet. It was black, and it had a black plastic face on the door, and you would push the button and it would hinge down. And then inside the cabinet there was these little slots where you could put your CD jewel cases, and Velcroed down to the inside of the door was a CD player. It was a little on the primitive and a little on the clunky side, but that's what they had in those days. And what I've been looking for is this. This is the transformer power supply assembly that powers the CD player. And oddly enough, I don't have one of these, and there's not a lot of call for it. It's more of a curiosity at this point than anything else. And what you've got here is a standard NuTone 515 power transformer, low voltage transformer, and then it's got this little rectified power supply board attached to the screw terminals, and this little barrel connector cable right here that this end plugs into the CD player to power it. And I've been looking for one of these for a long time because I've got one of the CD players. This is the CD player of a CD92. See, it says NuTone on it. And you open it up and the door pops, you can lift it open, and that's where you put the CD in. And the power connection's here on the back. And I want to do a video about this, but without the power supply, it's kind of pointless. Yes, I could make up something and power it off a bench power supply, but that's not really the point. The thing that's most interesting about this is there's a guy on eBay. He's got like 5 of these IR92s. And he thinks that they're worth a fortune. He wants like $45 a piece for them. And several times I've tried to contact him, and I tell him, look, I'll pay you, I'll give you 25 bucks for this and the cables that come with it, these 2 cables, this and this, and pay the shipping, and you can just send me these little things, put it in a little box and send it to me, and you can throw the rest of it away, or do whatever you want with it. And he won't do that. He thinks these things are like gold and they're worth a fortune. He doesn't seem to understand that the CD players were made, that was 30 years ago that NuTone made those, and to a large extent, for the most part, most of these, they don't work anymore. This one does work, which is good, and these are not really a repairable item. So watch for a video coming soon about NuTone early CD players. Now, see, if you wait long enough, you always seem to get what you're looking for. So we'll put this back in the box. This is like an added bonus here because I didn't think that there was one of these in this pile of stuff. But what happens when you buy stuff like this is there's always surprises. There's always things that when guys are packing stuff up and moving stuff off their shelves, they always find a lot of odds and ends that they didn't realize they had, and they just throw that in the box too. It's like free bonus stuff. So here's a master pack of more ISB 53 whites, and obviously it's a master pack. It's still got the strapping on it, which is kind of nice. And here we've got another IR90 cassette player rough end, and here's a box of IS76s. IS76s, at least that's what the box says. I guess we should open it up and see. Yep, that seems to be what it is. 3 IS76s. So IS76s, not the most sought after item in the world. These are 8-inch round music only ceiling speakers, and even when these were new, these were kind of a tough sell for people. So you've got a nice round grill assembly here, says NuTone in the middle. These are patterned very much after, there's a company called Dealer, and they make a lot of, they've been around since the 50s, I think. They make a lot of commercial audio equipment for like retail and business office applications and background music and that kind of stuff. And these are really the NuTone version of a Dealer ceiling speaker. The Dealer ones, at least the early ones I've seen, they have metal grills, not plastic. But so not a lot of use for these. I did have a guy recently, he's got a bunch of these in his house, and he needed, all his grills had turned yellow, and he was repainting, and he bought like 5 replacement grills from me, which is great because they were new old stock and they're very white. Where these really have value is on the speaker cones. The speaker cones, standard 25 ohm 8-inch NuTone speaker cone, these can be taken off the grill. They can be weatherized with the wet look, and then they can go in outdoor patio stations. So there's a need for that, and they have, again, more value for their bits and pieces than they do for their whole unit. So that's fine. What we got here? Here we've got a master pack that says IS405, I think L, 5-inch inside speakers for a 4006 system. And indeed, it is a master pack of 6. It's always nice when you get 6 of something. 6 is a nice number. It takes me back to the early days when I first started doing this. The 4006s were new, and you get an order in from NuTone, and you might order 60 or 80 speakers like this. So here we have these are later ones, again, for the screw terminals. These are the better ones to have than the ribbon cable connector type. Where these have the most use is, some people might need to replace them because they've turned yellow or something like that, but where these really have the most value is we'll probably take these and we'll weatherize them, and we're going to turn them into IS409 outdoor patio stations. We'll weatherize the speaker cone, we'll seal the back of the circuit board, we'll make the proper gasket for it, and they can spend their time out in the sunny weather somewhere being patio speakers while people enjoy their backyards and their pool. So we've got a big box here. Not sure what's in this one. Oh, I'm going to save this for the end. This box. This is for the very last. And just an empty box. Label from the IR92. Probably put that in a binder somewhere. Alright, let me get rid of this box, and then we'll get on to the third box, and then I'll show you the bonus stuff, some of the best stuff. Alright, box number 3. I bet you're all just dying to wait to see what's in the box that I put aside. That's actually what's in that box, is actually what this deal started off about. And then it sort of grew and grew as we went along. What we got? Oh, look, a broken box. Everything fell out. So we've got more IS405s. There seems to be 3 more. A lot more patio speakers. And IC401 inside remote controls. These go in the IR81s. Open this up here. So remote controls are basically the intercom controls minus the speaker, and these mount in the IR81s like this. So not too many people looking for these nowadays, because you're not adding something like this to your house usually. Although you could sell one of these on an IS67 round ceiling speaker and make another station. That would be good. I'd like that. Where these have their best value, it's the switchboards. You do service calls, people have broken switches or need to replace one for some reason. These come in really handy. Again, like a lot of things nowadays, more worth for its parts than the whole thing. This is an outdoor one. This is for a patio remote. Same idea, except it's weatherized and it has a mounting base. So these are good for service calls. People have outdoor patio speakers. You pair this up with one of the IS79s over there, and that's how you make up your deluxe patio station. Empty box. This guy packs well. He understands what to do. See, he put these empty boxes in here to fill up the space so everything would stay where he put it, which is exactly the way you want to do it. So what do we have here? We've got 4 IC331WH. These are inside remote controls, just like the other ones I just showed you, the 401s, except these are for a 3303 system, and same thing, smaller, but same idea. Again, same basic use, good for parts more than anything else. we'll put that there. We've got 2 outdoor patio ones. So those have, again, used for people who need to replace their patio speaker. I'm talking to all you folks in Florida right now. And 2 IA30 whites. These are audio wall plates. They've got RCA jacks on them. It's a metal plate mounted on a single gang electrical box. These were very popular back in the 3303 and 4406 days, and you would wire in, put it, and then run audio cables to hook it. People could plug in their home audio equipment and things like that. They used to make a rough-in kit. It was an IR30K. It was a nice kit because you got 2 50-foot long audio cable assemblies with RCA plugs on the end, and that's not an easy thing to find. So here's a nice item. These will find homes easily. We've got 3 IS309 white outdoor patio stations. These work with 3003 systems originally, can also work with the 3303. Same functionality, cosmetically they're different, but if you need one, you need one. And then we've got some big boxes. And inside the big boxes, we've got some 3 more IS408Ls, 8-inch inside speakers, and some 4 IS408Ls. I'm not going to open those because they're the same. And then we've got some ISA 448 whites. So these are the late model, the A model, for the 4406 system. So this would have been for the these will work with the IM 4406 or the IMA 4406. The nice thing about the A version, these are the later revised ones, they're the ones with the ceramic volume controls instead of the wire wound volume controls. So these are desirable. In fact, I have a customer that's looking for some of these. Has been for a while. So I've got 6 of them. I don't think he needs all 6, but I didn't tell him that they were coming. I wanted to surprise him because you never know sometimes what you find when you open the box. So let me move this out of the way. See? 24 by 24 by 24, just like I told the guy. Alright, so now for our mystery box. The thing that got all of this started in the first place. It's the thing that got the ball rolling here. Let's make a little bit of room. Alright, so the reason this guy originally contacted me was because I think he was an installing dealer. He did new construction. And they were doing a tract housing development with 4406s, and they thought, well, you know, we put in the 4406s, and then the builder's got to sell the house, and sometimes things get scratched or slightly damaged, and buyers are fussy, so we might have to deal with that. So we think the best way to do that would be we'll buy a bunch of faceplates from the NuTone parts department, faceplates. And if things get damaged, we'll just go out there with one of these and we'll take out the master station. We'll swap all the guts over and we'll put a brand new faceplate on it to keep the buyer happy. What they found out was that's a lot more work than you would think it is. It's not like there's 3 tabs and 2 screws and you take it apart and everything pops off and whatever. If you do it all the time, it goes right along. But if you haven't ever done it really much before, you're going to find it's going to take you some time. Probably easily burn up for a new guy, probably burn up at least an hour and a half. So there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. And they're spread pretty evenly between IM and IMA 4406s. And so here's a brand new, old stock, white faceplate. And white faceplates are sought after. And this is how this whole thing got started. And for those of you who don't know, the faceplates are different between the IM and the IMA 4406s. The CD player assemblies change, as did a few other things, and so they're not interchangeable. This is for an IM 4406, and you can tell that because it's got the little cutout right here for the optical sensor that tells the unit that there's actually a CD on the spindle, and there's a little board that goes across these screws here with an emitter and a receptor, and that's how it knows. It sends out a little light beam and it bounces off the reflective surface of the CD and then goes back into the receptor, so it knows there's something in there. It doesn't reflect off the inside of the white door. So that's for an IM. And then we also have some that are, this one, no, I'm confused. This is for an IMA. See, I forgot because they changed. Because the IMA, it has the 2 posts for the screws that hold the circuit board down. The IMs, which is this one, here's one for the IM. The IM doesn't have the 2 little posts. It's got one little tiny screw, and the sensor is on a little tiny circuit board with a cutout that goes around the opening for the screw right here, and that's what holds it in place. And see, the mounting points are different. On an IM, there's 3 screws that hold the CD assembly down to the back of the faceplate. And on the IMA, there are 4 screws. So one and one. Now, one of the things that's interesting, like this is an IM, and you can see it's got the NuTone part sticker on it, so you know it's genuine. So these are new. These are well taken care of. They might be, there's a little bit, they need to be washed. They're a little grimy, not too bad. Sitting in some guy's shelf in their warehouse or something. But these are new, you can tell, because none of the standoffs where the screws go in, none of them have been threaded out by having screws put in them. But one of the things that's kind of interesting is, if you hold them up side by side, maybe you can see that. The top one is the IM, and the door doesn't want to stay closed. The white is a little different than the IMA. And that's probably not because they've discolored it all, although they might have a little bit. See, here's one. But they were made at different times, and they were made at different factories. All the button inserts keep falling out. That's one of the things that happens. When you put the board in, that's what sort of holds it all in place. So they were made at different times, and they were made in different factories. So the plastic formula is probably somewhat different, so you get a very slight difference in color. But it's certainly, all of these are certainly better than what you've got if you've got a hugely yellowed one, especially if it's yellowed to the point that it's probably not, the re-whitening process that we do isn't going to really give you the best end result. So these will all find home somewhere. These are all going to be wrapped up carefully in bubble wrap and plastic bags and boxed up and put in the back so they don't get damaged. And they'll all find home somewhere or another. So I guess we put that one there. Like that. So there it is, 150 pounds of NuTone. All good stuff. Some of it's already spoken for. The rest of it we'll find homes for in the near future. And I guess now I've got to put it all away. I hope you found this interesting, and maybe for some of you, some of this stuff will be helpful. If it is, give it a thumbs up on YouTube, because that always helps. There'll be a banner right here that shows you how to subscribe. Go to our YouTube homepage, click on the bell or on the wheel, put in your email address, and every time we post a new video, you'll get a notification and you can watch it. That's all for today. See you on the next video.